if you are between the ages of 15 and 35, there is about a 99.99% chance that you've heard of the name Mia Khalifa. There is no doubt in my mind that majority of the people on this earth who are between those ages that are male, have heard that name. It is an infamous name. It is a name that's been around for a very long time. And we are here today to talk about Mia Khalifa because she has popped up a lot. A lot of some old clips have been popping up on my Twitter feed and a lot of other people's Twitter feed, as well as a new clip that she's posted that's regarding towards like the whole Palestinian and Israeli war that's been going on in the Middle East. And to me, she needs to be stopped. She needs to stop posting a lot of the shit that she's posting and stop her whole entire attitude. And I'm going to get into a little bit more about what I mean by that as we go into the video, as I show some clips from her and explain and sort of say like other things that she has said in the past, because I don't want to just sit here and just like show you all the clips that I could just sit here and show you every single, like, so many different clips of her saying certain things and me just like kind of rebuttaling them and going against them and just saying why it's so stupid about why she says this. But I'm going to show this one first. And this is a clip from about 3 years ago of when she did the sit down with Anthony Padilla. Anthony Padilla, I don't know if he does them that much anymore because he's back with Smosh. But when he was like on his own, when he was away from Smosh, he did this whole where he'd sit down with like mostly internet famous people. It was never like, you know, your movie star celebrities, but he would sit down with people who are, you know, mostly internet famous and would kind of just like, you know, talk to them and get to know them and talk about, you know, semi-controversial things and all that stuff. They're very interesting, you know, videos to watch. I've watched a couple of his over the years, like since he started doing them, and they are extremely interesting to watch. And he did one 3 years ago with Mia Khalifa, and this clip has been surfacing its way back around on Twitter. And it's her where she's in public and someone wants to get a picture with her, and it doesn't go very well.
And I get come up to by this guy and his girlfriend, and we were interrupted in the middle of talking and eating, and he said, "Hey, Mia Khalifa, can I get a picture with you?" And I looked up at him and I'm like, "No, we're eating." And I said it just like that. Like it was a rude way, but it was also very rude for him to come up while someone was actively in the middle of a conversation. And after I said that, his girlfriend, who was standing next to him, grabbed him by the arm and said, "I told you that wasn't her. There's not enough on her face. Let's go, babe." And I went into the bathroom and cried, and I didn't really know how to handle it, especially because it came from a woman, and especially because I was there for business, and it was something that had nothing to do with the adult industry, and I was just very dejected and embarrassed and felt like they would never want to work with me again.
That must have been really hurtful.
Yeah.
Did they end up working with you still after that?
Yeah, we're still on the contract.
Okay, good.
Now, there's a couple ways I feel about this clip. I do feel sorry for her to a certain extent. I mean, especially for someone to come up to you in public, like, adult star or not, for someone just to blatantly say that to your face. I mean, that is very hurtful. I mean, I would be fucking taken back by that. I don't blame her for going away and crying about that. At the same time, though, I'm not sure if it was this same interview, but in previous times, she has talked about on many occasions about how she regrets being in that adult industry. Now, I don't blame her for that. I mean, the adult industry has been known to be, you know, it's not a glorified thing, which a lot of, like, you know, it seems like a very glorified situation, especially with OnlyFans going around, because that is considered the adult industry, and it seems like it's a very glorified industry and a great industry where you can like make some money, you can have fun and do all this, but it is like you are forced into a lot of uncomfortable situations and a lot of situations that you know don't necessarily want to be in, and it can be hurtful, and you can actually, you know, like I think Mia has stated many times that she didn't actually make that much money off like some of the videos that she did, and a lot of videos that now get published of her, she doesn't necessarily make all that money, which, you know what, is kind of shit. And she also talked about in this interview about the infamous hijab scene, which is probably the reason why, I would have to say it is the reason why she's like got so popular as a corn star. Okay, I don't know if I could say the P word. Have I already said it? I don't know if I could say it. Fuck it. That is what made her a even more popular porn star than she would have been. Like, she actually was only in the adult industry for 3 months. That's fuck all. That's fuck all time. And there's a lot of adult stars who, like, you would probably see them getting videos published of them still, but they are actually not in that industry anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure Lana Rhoades and Riley Reid as well have, like, especially they're now married. Well, not Lana Rhoades, but they both have kids now, and I'm pretty sure that they're, like, almost completely out of that industry, or, you know, if they are still doing stuff, it's like not to the certain extent that they were doing it years ago. But this hijab scene, it was very it's so infamous, and it was for a lot of, like, you know, understandable reasons, because, you know, people in the Islamic community got extremely mad at her, were sending her fucking death threats, were sending her all this type of shit, all this hate and death threats, and doing videos of her. Now, I'd never, like, you know, would advocate for someone to have death threats sent to them. I think that, you know, personally, to me, that is a bit too far. But I can't really comment on the Islamic and the Muslim community, because, you know, their culture and their religion is very sacred to them, and is completely different to, like, my own culture and my own beliefs as well. So at the same time, I can't really comment too much on them, but they take stuff like that very seriously. And she talked about how she didn't even know about the scene going into it. She didn't know that day when she rocked up, she didn't know exactly what was going to happen. It wasn't until that day when she rocked up and these people were like, yeah, we're going to do this. Can you wear a hijab? And it was also, you know, with the other girl in the scene as well. She could have just said no. I mean, if she had any kind of, you know, thinking of, like, not morals, but any thought process of this could have some kind of repercussions, maybe I shouldn't do this. You could still say no to everything. Like, you didn't also have to go into the adult industry. Yeah, you've talked about how you regret it. That's absolutely fine, but you didn't have to. I mean, you could have done, you know, other things. You know, if you were struggling for money and you wanted to find money, I mean, yeah, it might have been like, you know, well, this is it, but you didn't have to. But you still did it anyways. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being in the adult industry and going into it, and then for, like, some money and some quick cash, and then when you come out of it, if you're only in there for a short time, but it gave you a reputation, you're like, hey, listen, you know what, I did it, but and you know what, it gave me a bit of fame, but I regret it. There's nothing wrong with, like, you know, doing something and then just going later on and saying, hey, I fucked up. Like, it was a really bad decision that I made. I probably wouldn't do it again, given so, and I do regret it because I feel like it tarnished me as a person. But Mia Khalifa just takes this to a whole fucking other level. Not only regretting it, but just trying to, like, shun it and almost trying to, you know, make it out like this isn't her whatsoever and this never happened, and if you bring this up, I don't like you, and how dare you bring, you know, my past up in any kind of way. And I didn't know that this was very adamant. Like, I kind of knew that she was a bit like this until I saw this clip of her coming onto a radio show and this guy mentioning about her being a former porn star and her cussing the fuck out of this guy.
Well, fast forward to a couple of years later, and you have the very active in sports and in the adult film community, Mia Khalifa, who was at one point in time the #1 ranked porn star. Now, I think she's channeled that into an enthusiasm for sports where she speaks with a lot of passion and a lot of knowledge. Like, if you step to her and try to argue sports, she will hand you your ass. So she's supporting her team, the Washington Capitals, against our team, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Watching a hockey game like all of us have done.
He's a big hockey fan.
Huge hockey fan. And then out of nowhere, well, I guess out of somewhere, one of those damn pucks makes a beeline for Mia Khalifa's boob, and then it ruptures her implant. Do I have that right so far, Mia?
First of all, I was in the adult industry for 3 months, so you need to fucking fact check before you ask me to call into your shitty radio station. Goodbye.
We weren't supposed to mention that she was ever in porn? Well, we weren't supposed to mention that she was ever an adult film star?
I love how she gets on the fucking radio show and she just goes off at him, telling him, how about you fact check about, you know, I was only in there for 3 months and blah, blah, blah and all this. How else do you want people to see you? I'm sorry, but if it wasn't for you being in the industry, even if it was for only 3 months, you would be nothing. I'm sorry, but you wouldn't be. You would not be nowhere near the position that you are today. There is no way in hell that you would have any kind of, you know, all the other stuff that you were doing. And now she wants to be seen as this, you know, philanthropist. philanthropist. She wants to be seen as this philanthropist. God, fuck, philanthropist, a feminist, and some like an advocate for the whole entire like Palestinian and Israeli war that's going on. Because if you don't know, she is very heavily on the side of Palestine because she was born in Lebanon. It wasn't until like, you know, later on in life that she moved over to the US. So she is like a legal immigrant, at least from what we know. She is an immigrant into the US. She posted recently a video on Twitter, and I think I've showed enough clips, so I don't want to keep showing clips, like just constantly clips of her, but you can go see it. It's about 43 seconds long, and there is a video that she posted, like it was probably a couple about 3-4 days ago now by the time you're watching this, of her just like completely going off at this lady at the airport. Apparently the lady started it and started calling her slurs. We don't have any evidence of that, but Mia Khalifa just like, you know, going off at this woman, and you know, this woman was like showing off her like jewelry. Apparently that was, you know, some kind of, I don't know if it was like a Jewish symbol or something like that, but this lady's obviously, you know, Jewish and following Israeli. She's Israeli and probably proud of that. And you know what? I don't really see anything wrong with that. Now, when it comes to the whole Israeli and Palestinian war, I try to keep us away from politics as much as possible. But I definitely feel, you know what, with this, I have to kind of mention it because Mia Khalifa, all her Twitter now is her just being an advocate for like Palestine. And to some extent, you know what, I don't blame her because the shit that's happening to a lot of these Palestinian civilians, I feel for. 100%. I feel for all the civilians. But she also has come out, and there's a tweet that she deleted like a while back, because I tried originally finding this tweet, but I couldn't find it. I had to search it up on Google, where she tweeted out saying, can someone please tell the freedom fighters in Palestine to flip their phones and film horizontally? And this was all going down at first when like the whole entire public was on Israel's side, from when Palestine, like the terrorists in Palestine, because as much as there are a whole load of civilian people in Palestine, there's a whole load of civilian people that are getting harmed, there is also Palestinians there that are actual terrorists. Not all of them. I'm not saying all of them. 100%. If you want to know what side I am in terms of the war, I'm on the innocent people side. I'm not on Palestine side, or I'm not on the Israeli side. I am on the innocent people that are dying in this war. Those are the people that I feel sorry for. I don't give a fuck about any terrorists on whether it's on either side. I don't even know too much. I don't even know if there's like actual terrorists on Israeli side, or it's just like the government that's like, but I don't know who the fuck is like really doing the bombing in this situation. That's all I feel sorry for. But she is clearly like, you know, saying that these freedom fighters, and I think at the time she was talking about Hamas, which is like the terrorist organization. Bro, you are going way too far with this. And the thing that baffles me as well is like with her whole entire, you know, persona of her not wanting to be seen as this adult star. Well, then why is there so many other aspects in your life that you were still clinging on to of you sexualizing yourself? Now, it's absolutely fine. If you want to go ahead and sexualize yourself, it's 2024. If you want to go ahead and do certain things, do what the fuck you want. Who the fuck cares? But you can't then go ahead and say, how dare you bring up my past? Well, your past is shaped you into the person now, and you are still using your past and still sexualizing yourself to promote a lot of things. You go ahead, you go on her Instagram, a lot of her, you know, images and a lot of the stuff that she posts is relatively sexual stuff. There's like one where it's just her in a bikini, and there's like all that's covering her tits like the marijuana symbol or the marijuana leaf. And then there's also one of her promoting her I think it's like it's a jewelry brand. I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's a jewelry or a bikini brand. And at one point in her, she's not wearing a top for the whole entire thing. If you want to promote a bikini, I mean, show off the top at least. And at the end, she like strips naked into it. She strips down naked and skinny dips into the pool. It's just like, if you want to go ahead and do that, that's absolutely fine. Not only that, she's posted videos like this one as well of her, like, obviously being like, you know, explicit in her, like, you know, going to show off her, take her top off and unzipping her top, but to show off her big tits. And then on top of all this, what the fuck? She has an OnlyFans. She still does this shit. She still has an OnlyFans. At the end of the day, you are still doing sexual content. Yeah, it might be on your own terms now, but you are still clinging on to you being an adult. You are still technically in the adult industry. You never left it. You say that you only did that for 3 months, but OnlyFans is still technically the adult industry. It is still you doing porn to a certain extent. And you know what fucking baffles me even more? one of the things that when I saw this, when I heard about this today, when I saw a video on this, I was blown away. She hates the fact that she is known for being a porn star, which is the reason why she is so popular. Her real name isn't even Mia Khalifa. Her real name is Sarah Jo Chamon. Yeah, I probably butchered the last name, but that is her real name. That is her birth name. But she still goes ahead and uses her porn star name, despite her saying that she regrets her time in the adult industry. The fact that she was only in there for 3 months, how dare you mention that? I'm so much more than that. I'm a media personality. I'm this and that. I'm a philanthropist. I'm a feminist. I'm an advocate for, like, you know, Palestinian lives in the Palestinian-Israeli law. But you still go ahead and use your fake name. You're still going ahead and using Mia Khalifa. If you really want to get out of it, stop doing OnlyFans. Stop sexualizing yourself. Stop using your porn star name. Use your real fucking name and try to build your personality around stuff that's just, you know, away from anything that's got to do with the adult industry whatsoever, because you're doing a terrible way at doing it. But the thing to me as well is that, like, once you get in this, that's what you're known for. And to me, the way that she can, like, better herself in the public eye, which I think that she's done enough damage. So many people fucking hate her. So many people can't stand her. You could be a fucking Mia Khalifa simp, and even you would acknowledge to a certain extent that, yeah, she could be fucking annoying and kind of hypocritical and very ironic at the same time. One person that I think that takes it on the chin, figuratively and literally, and acknowledges, like, her adult industry career in a relatively good way, maybe she's seen on it she sees on it as a better light, is Adriana Chekic. Now, her, I'm not sure if she, like, does videos anymore, especially because the whole time when she, like, broke her back in, like, several places when she was at TwitchCon. But whenever she talks about it, she doesn't talk about it in a bad light. Now, maybe obviously compared to Mia Khalifa, she might have had, like, a much more better career in terms of the way that she was treated, or maybe she really wanted to get into this, because I've seen videos, it's just like, you know, Adriana seemed that she really wanted to do this, but she doesn't, like, bash it being her. She acknowledges that's what made me famous, that's what made me where I am. But then she does other shit. She streams. That's how like, I know her now. I started I didn't know this, but, like, it was like last year, I think it was sometime, or maybe the year before, where, like, randomly I was scrolling through Twitch and she came up. She came up on my Twitch feed, and I was just like, Adriana Chekic streams on Twitch. That's wild. And if people want to ask her questions, she's not afraid to go away from that. She's not afraid to say, like, yeah, that's what I did. That's what made me money. That's what made me rich. That's what put me where I am. Now I can do this, and this. And now I can stream. And she plays video games. Like, she just does normal ass shit. But she doesn't go away from it. She doesn't bash someone if they mention it. Like, I'm retired now. Don't mention anything about that. Mention this, and this. Just, it was a big part of your life. It made you who you are. If it wasn't for you being in the adult industry for those 3 months, you would nowhere be. You would not be in the spot that you are. You would not have the money that you will have. You would not have the life that you had. You would not be able to do the certain things that you do. Yeah, you might have regretted it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But stop trying to be out like it didn't happen. Because it fucking did. It did. And just acknowledge it. Just say, yeah, at one point, I was #1 for the biggest adult porn star in the world. I was. And that made me where I am. You know what? It was a shit time, but if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be where I am today. And to a certain extent, I am somewhat grateful. But let me know what you guys think about her down below, about her, all the shit that she posts, and just her whole demeanor about how she goes about things. So I just think it's fucking horrible. Like, whenever she mentions anything, to me, it just baffles my mind, especially the fact that she, like, to me, the thing that, like, really does me as well is the fact that she regrets it, wants to get away with it, but still uses her porn star alias name and still does OnlyFans. To me, that is extremely fucking ironic. That's it from me. Peace out.